I am the Highland Scribe, Cheryl L. Hudson, storyteller. I am about to begin. Are you ready? I am the Highland Scribe, scribe to the stones, to the winds, to the bloodlines that walk unseen. Come closer, closer still. You see, the fire's warm, but this tale tonight, this tale runs wild. Now, tonight we begin, as true tales do, in the bog and bracken, where the land breathes and light deceives, where paths vanish behind you and the sky never quite settles into day nor night, and where will-o'-the-wisp walks. See, in Scottish folklore, we call them sea, the fairy flames. Not fairies like the painted books suggest, no. They glitter in wings. These are older, stranger. They are spirits of the in-between, fire-born memory bound, shaped from grief and wonder. Some say they are souls of the unburied dead. Others claim that they are flickers of the fey realm, breaking through when the veil grows thinnest. You see, they appear as a dancing light. They can be blue or white, floating just out of reach in marsh and moor. And if you follow, they say you are lost. But that's not the whole truth. What if one of them follows you? Then it's already too late to be afraid. And that is where my grandfather's story begins. Now, his name was Isaac Stewart, and he was born to the travelling folk, the road-fed, lore-taught, weather-worn clans who carry stories in their feet and truth in their silences. You see, he wasn't a man of great words in his younger years, but his silence had depth. Even as a boy, he would stand for hours barefoot in frost or dew, head tilted as if listening to something other people couldn't hear. He knew things, felt things, saw what others dismissed as tricks o' the mist. And in one spring in 1937, that seeing became something more. It was Beltane Eve. Now, this is the time when the edge between seasons, when the land holds its breath and the other world leans in close. Isaac, just turned 17, went out to check the ponies after their supper, and the sky was a dull bronze in colour, the kind that sort of buzzes with something unspoken. And in the distance, just beyond the fence line, he saw it, a light. Small, blue, white in colour, breathing, waiting. He didn't question it. He didn't run. He followed. The moor seemed to fold around him like a closing book. Paths then twisted, hills bent in upon themselves, and the air, it began to get thicker. Not damp, but dense, sort of like the sound was pressing against his skin. And still the light moved. Not fast, not in a teasing way, steady and intentional. He crossed through places that no map knows, stones leaning in too close to one another, and trees growing in spirals, a stream that ran uphill for a moment. Then, then he reached a hollow, and the air opened up again, But the world had somehow changed. You see, there were now dozens of these lights, hovering, watching, like breath held in fire, and in their midst stood a figure, not human, not beast, as tall as a yew tree, robed in mist and dusk, crowned with roots, no face, just presence, ancient and silent. The light gathered round them like children waiting for a story, and it spoke, not aloud to him, but into him. It said, "You are the line that remembers. One of us is fading, and you are now a vessel." The figure extended his hands, and in them was a jar. Now it was small, round, glass shaped. And inside there was a small flame, but it didn't flicker, it moved. It swirls like a living creature inside. There is something in here. It was like a candle that sort of knew that it was being watched. "This isn't a light," the figure said. This is memory. This is the last breath of the Watcher. A wisp who helped open the doors and a path between the worlds. He is now fading. But memory cannot be buried, not if it is carried. And you, Isaac Stewart, you will carry it. My grandfather took the jar in his hand, and the moment that he did, the light blinked completely out, and the figure vanished, and the moor opened up once again, like it had never been closed. Now, he awoke on the edge of the moor, cold dew in his hair, and the jar warm in his hand. He said nothing, not for years. He kept it hidden, not out of fear, but reverence. The flame did not die. It pulses, slowly and gently, and sometimes, when the mist curls and creeps low and the winds fall silent, it whispers, not in words as such, but more of a feeling. Now, my grandfather carried this, not as a burden, no, more of a bond, and he waited until I came along. You see, I was young, maybe too young to understand back then, but I was old enough to know. He handed me the jar in silence one night and just nodded. That was his way. He didn't say what it was directly, more of what it wasn't. He said, "Lass, this is no trick. This is no just a story. It's not yours. It's theirs. And now you keep it. You keep it until the world begins to listen once again." And I have. I have carried this ever since, everywhere I go. Across glens, riverbanks, hilltops and ruins. I walk barefoot when I can, and it's not as a ritual, but because, to me, the land speaks more clearly this way. Sometimes the jar glows, stronger when the veil thins and when the forgotten places stir. This is a tome, not a relic. It is a breathing book, a living memory of the world before we built walls too high to see past. And now it has started to stir again. And you who are listening now, if your skin began to tingle at the mention of the hollow, if the flame called to something buried deep inside you, if the wind sometimes sounds like it's trying to tell you something, then maybe, just maybe, you're next. Because this isn't fantasy. No, this isn't a fable. This is a reminder that Will o' the Wisp, well, they still walk among us. They're still watching. Their flame is still waiting. And when the time comes, when enough of the world falls, quiet enough to hear the jar, it will be opened. And their stories will begin again. I am the Highland Scribe, scribe to the stones, to the winds, to the bloodlines that walk unseen. Thank you for joining me tonight. Sleep tight, wanderers. And when the flame lights again, I'll hope you join me. Good night.